and some of these guys that went and competed at the highest level, you'll find three commonality. These are guys that experienced unconditional love one time in their lives, okay? Where for you, it's your mom. You can't do anything wrong in your mom's eyes. Nothing, right? You get arrested, you come to your mom's gonna be like, you okay? Everything good? Everything good? You're like, how could somebody love me this much that I just screwed up? Yeah. And you still love me? Yeah. Wow, yeah. Right? We need to experience that. Only one time is all you need. Because when you experience it one time, you know what it tells you? It's possible and it's out there. One time. Two, then you have somebody that you look at in your lifetime that no matter how much you try to earn this person's love, you could never do it. You make $1 million, they don't care. You get a six-pack, she's still with another guy. You drive a Lambo, she doesn't give a shit. You buy a 20,000 square foot house, doesn't do anything. No matter what you ever do, this person you loved so much betrayed you, left you, broke you for the rest of your life. You are never gonna win this person's confirmation. So you have unconditional love, unconditional, unbelievable pain. Then you have the last one, is when you end up choosing the right person or enemy that drives you. Most people, that last element, Matt, they don't choose the right one. Like I remember one time you and I can recite 5 of your enemies. I won't do it on the camera, but I can recite 5 of your enemies. I remember one time we were talking on the phone, the first 90 days you were with us. Yeah. And it's me, you, and Sheena. And this name would keep coming up, keep coming up, coming up, coming up. I'm like, perfect, that's an enemy. And then another person was in your life that was making your life very difficult, another enemy. And then there was another person that really did something to Sheena, another enemy. And then I sat there and I talked to you guys about, and I think you remember this call that we had together, one of my guys. Here's what you have to realize, totally get it. He made this much money, here's what you get. That person's doing this, go light it up so you don't have to worry about it. This person's doing that, and I saw, and I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your eyes, and I'm looking at her eyes, I'm like, these guys are gonna get whatever they want. Why? Because you guys have the right elements. And what happened to your life? Now making $2 million a year, living in a beautiful $3 million home, having the family that you have, having the influence that you have, having the leaders, the lives you've changed. One of your guys' heart just crossed, 750. You got guys making half a million, you got guys making $1 million. And back in the days, life was very different in that Escalade that every time you opened the door, sounded like somebody was shooting at the car. Life changed. And the whole thing was, to try to stay in control and, bring you above the level of anger to courage, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, reason, love, is to bring it up. And when you went to that next level, it just started happening. No, I would watch you guys so close. You guys were the easiest people I've ever worked with in business, ever. In 22 years of anybody I've ever worked with, you guys were the easiest people to ever work with. Because you had the balance of the logic, and you just needed to figure out how to do it better. Sheena needed the systems, and like, how do we do this and how do we do that? But you also had the emotion side. Like, you had the willpower, you had the vision, you had the mission, you had the culture. You brought culture, you brought these shoes. None of us wore J's before you came. You brought the J's where you started, after we gave Dream Team, we started giving J's out. Yeah. And then you started having all these J's, and then everybody started wearing J's. So you were a culture guy. You could get the logic side, and you need that side, but you also had the emotion side. Like, you had the will. The willpower is something that you can teach a little bit, but some just have it. Some just have more of it.
Can it be built, willpower?
It can be, but the one thing that's going to force you to know you need to build it is if you have the right enemy. Oh. If you don't have the right enemy, why would you build your willpower? When we do affirmations sometimes, all we want to write when we do affirmations sometimes, we write positive affirmation. We write, you're the best, you're a great leader, you're a great father, all of these things that are positive affirmations. Okay, no problem. One day on a flight back from Chicago, I took a piece of yellow pad on a flight, and I wrote down everything anybody ever said that offended me, upset me, pissed me off, hurt me, those comments. Matt, I'm writing this down, and I'm on fire, and I'm getting emotional. And I'm just writing it down, and I'm writing it, and I'm writing it down, and I'm writing it down. Imagine you start your day reading those 10 affirmations of what people say about you. Your day starts slightly different, right? And when we're with Dana, and I'm sitting with Dana 3 days ago in Vegas, we're in his office, a 30-minute meeting turns into a 2-hour meeting. And I say, Dana, I got a book coming out at the end of the meeting. He said, why are you here? I said, well, I got a bunch of meetings I'm doing for a book tour for Penguin. What's the book's name? Choose Your Enemy's Wise. He said, that's the name? I said, yeah. He said, the book's name is Choose Your Enemy's Wise. He says, yeah. I said, yeah. He says, look behind me. He's pointing. I'm like, if you want me to tell you what he had on his wall, it's a picture of two on his wall.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, I've already seen that picture. He says, no, this here. So I come to the side. I'm like, what is he looking at? What's he talking about? He's got a quote on the wall, and it says, may God have mercy on my enemy, because I won't. When I tell you on the wall, it's like massive on the wall. May God have mercy on my enemies, for I won't. I said, can I take a picture with you? There we go there. He says, you know who said this? I said, who said this? I said, a military guy. I said, it's the president. He says, no, it's military. I said, is it Ike? Is it Alexander? Is it Patton? He says, it's Pat. Patton said the quote, right? Then I said, you know, you got a quote in the book. He says, really? I said, yeah, you got a quote in the book. He says, what's the quote? I said, well, it's the quote where you say, effing bet against me. Tell me it's not going to happen. Tell me it's going to fail. I love it. I love every minute of it, right? I played that on repeat. I love every minute of it. We're sitting there talking, and then he's explaining this stuff. And you look at Dana, what do you think about it? You think about a guy that chose his enemies wisely 20 years ago, you know, when he chose to be the best commissioner in sports during COVID, where you couldn't play sports here. And he goes to Abu Dhabi, and the only thing that we can watch on TV was UFC. UFC blew up during COVID, right?
So he went to Jacksonville, right? He went to Jacksonville because there was a conservative.
That's right. Yes, he did. That's right.
Man,
and by the way, we talked about that, and DeSantis also talked about that. But the point being, if you have the privilege and the honor of being offended the right way, man, if somebody offends you the right way and you know how to use it and channel it, because one of two things is going to happen, okay? I've had a list of people that have said things about me, but one of the guys once said something about me. I sat there and I said, if I don't do anything, for the rest of his life, he's going to tell everybody he was right. There's no way it's going to happen. So if you don't do something about it, they were right.
Yeah.
But if you do something about it, you were right. How does that drive you? Does it move you? Does it do anything to you? If it does, you're going to get willpower. If it doesn't, forget about it.
One of my favorite trainings you've done, I remind my guys constantly about this, is reasons why you should never quit. And one of the reasons why is because everybody that told you couldn't do it, they were right. And everything that you're supposed to become will never have a life because you quit. You know, there's so much that you just covered there, PBD. I mean, you know, you're talking about Dana White. I mean, he's got a recent viral video out there, and he's laughing at people that says, I don't want a 9-to-5 job. He's telling me I want to work for myself. He goes, oh, really? Oh, really? You want to work for yourself? And listen, man, there's no holidays, there's no birthdays. Everybody's trying to take out, everybody's trying to screw you. He's war out there. So he has a very serious message. Of course, he says in the beginning. But did you experience that when you first started PHP? Did you experience that when you...
Oh, my God. At the highest level, of course, at the highest level. And by the way, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger the bigger you get, right? But no, listen, you do what you do in business because it's a dream, because you have aspirations, but it's not easy. It's not easy when you're sitting around and people are telling you, you know, they're trying to steal your business from you. They're trying to steal market share away from you. Everybody from, you know, all these recruiting companies are trying to pitch your company executive that you hired that they're going to get another raise over here. So no matter how much raise you give. So let's just say you're like, oh, I'm going to keep this guy by giving him a $2,000 raise or $20,000 raise. You could give all of your guys a $20,000 raise, a $50,000 raise, a $100,000 raise. Still, 80% of them are going to use that to go to recruiting firm to get an additional 20. So giving the raise will not be the solution. Now, if you bring it back and you are a true leader, you are really driving. You're a guy that's nonstop. You're a guy that's fair but tough. You're a guy that has high standards. You're a guy that is on a mission. You're doing something. People can see the fact that you're real and genuine about it. Then people don't want to go work with another person. They want to work with you. So then if they want to work with you and then they're able to also have their lives and dreams become a reality, then they're willing to go through the pain. But yeah, starting a business, everybody wants to go out there and do it. Always easier if you do it with somebody that's a partner. And my recommendation, instead of trying to be an entrepreneur sometime, you're better off being an entrepreneur. Find somebody like you to be in business with where, you know, you have somebody to leverage and you don't have to do it all by yourself.